Hey, I'm Loyalbdog, and welcome to the Fever channel. I've been asked you to show you the top 5 mages I believe you should be playing in Season 5 if you want to learn this important role. So, without any further ado, here we go. So, coming in at our first god, I've chosen Ra. Ra is a good mage to start off with, seeming because he is the first mage you receive in Smite. His passive lets you get movement speed from using your abilities from the other 3/4 abilities if you include the ult. So the first ability is Celestial Beam. It's a line ability that does a lot of damage, really easy to hit, kinda slow, but you should be able to get it under the way. Second ability, Divine Light. If you use Divine Light, it will start to slow and it will build up. At its peak, if you're close enough, you will be blinded. If you're an enemy, of course. And then the third ability is a heal, Solar's Blessing. Solar's Blessing is an ability that can damage your opponents or heal depending on how you want to use it. It has a really good ability, decent cooldown, and I like it overall. So, Searing Pain is the ultimate. It's a long line and it does a lot of power. The ability cooldown at max rank is 50. You're most likely going to get cooldown, so you should bring that down to about 30, nearly 40. And Ra's a really good pick because he can do a lot of things in his kit. So he can poke you out with your 1, then if you try to get aggressive, he can push you away with your 2, so you can start to slow them if you want to be aggressive and attack them, or if they're attacking you, you activate it and blind them so you can set yourself a little bit of distance. Then, if you're in a fight and it disengages, you just say group up, place the heal, and you can go back in. That's really good compared to the other mages that's coming up. Ra has probably the best engage and disengage out of any of them. And then the ultimate, Searing Pain, just does a lot. And the best combo you could probably do, in my opinion, is if you're accurate with your shots, you fire your Celestial Beam and Searing Pain in the same line, and if they end up aligning and they walk into this, you're going to be hitting this. So you'll be hitting at base 335, add 90% of your magical power added on, and 700 power, add 100% of your magical power added on. That is killing someone. So I think Ra is really good because he can go in, deal damage, come out, heal, go in, deal damage, come out, heal. And he can do that with his teammates, and they can just rush towers, phoenixes, and objectives. That's why I think Ra is one of the best at the moment. So, coming in at second place, I think, is Agony. His Agony's passive is pretty decent. After 4 basic attacks, your next ability will do a dot damage effect. This can either happen on the next cast of Flame Wave or Rain of Fire. So this can be really good damage that you could apply to either of these abilities. So your first ability is Noxious Fumes. You lay down a gas cloud, and any fire ability that hits it will stun any gods that are within the area. Next, Flame Wave is mainly your clear, and basically it's just a small, kind of short range but wide flame ability. Just complete damage, nothing much, but obviously can be procced with more damage using your combustion. Next is Path of Flames. Agony just dashes forward and leaves a dot damage trail leading behind him. Can be really good. Either of these two can be your main clear, but personally I like to do Flame Wave because it's more safe. Unless you're going to go starting mid, if this is on Conquest, and then you can go Path of Flames. Then finally, at your last ability, Rainfire, every 18 seconds Agony gains a halo, and it basically provides you a rock, and that rock can be shot, and you land down, and it hits them with a lot of magical power. And the best thing about this ability is it costs 0 mana. So if you want to build cooldown, because it's already at 18 seconds, if you build cooldown, this can go down exponentially. It could go down to like 10 seconds per rock, and you could stack up to 3 rocks, or halos as the game would like to call it. And it ignites with Nauseous Fume, so you can stun. A very good combo is actually Rain of Fire, quickly go over to Nauseous Flames, and then just start hitting them with the other abilities, because you have enough time to shoot this and cast this before this lands, which is an amazing ability. Seeing because he has free cast, this just shooting it into the team fight just does a lot of damage, and that's why I think he is probably second best. But obviously none of these are in order, so they're all really good. Coming in at number 3, I think it's Isis. Her passive, after witnessing 10 deaths, obviously maxing out at 10, Isis gains an additional 10% cooldown reduction. Additionally, Isis' final base attack, her progression have a wider range, add 2, so her auto attacks get a little bit wider. And she gets also HP 5 and MP 5 per stack. One is Winger. She shoots 4 discs that do a lot of damage, and it lasts for 3 seconds, and you have 25% movement speed when doing it, so you could poke a lot with this ability. And Wing Gust is your clear. There's few other cases that you need Spirit Ball as your other clear. Spirit Ball is a ball that you can send at a very long distance, and you have to reactivate the ability, and it explodes. So you could choose it right in front of you, so press, for me, 2, and then 2 straight away if they're right in front of me. Or if they're at the furthest distance, I just let it go, and at the end, pop, gone. And you can choose anywhere between there. It stuns for 1 second, and it's on cooldown for 10 seconds, which is pretty good. Dispel Magic is a silent circle on the floor that slows. If you hit an enemy with it, it actually removes part of their protections up to 30% for 2.5 seconds, and the silence is for 2 seconds. So you can dish out a lot of damage within that time. So you could do Dispel Magic into Spirit Ball, they take a lot more damage, and then into Wing Gust, hit, and then like one more, and then there's a lot. As long as they don't interrupt you during that, you should do a lot of damage. Then Circle of Protection is a huge ability that could take up the entire lane, but it does a lot. So it damages a lot and heals anyone that's inside the zone. So it's very good for healing teammates and taking objectives, because you could get to 50 HP on the fire giant and see they want to come and steal it. You get down to about 25%, you activate your ult, you burst it down, and then when it's near the end, when they're about to steal, you pop, like, reactivate your ult. Bang, it explodes. You heal everyone, fire giant's down, you have the fire giant buff, you go in, sweep, easy. It does damage mitigation, so you take less damage while in it, and at the max charge it goes from 800 to 4,000. And the max charge damage and scale is at 3.5 times in the original amount. That's crazy. And it's on a cooldown of 90 seconds. And it cost is only 120, which is really good. Isis, she throws her Spirit Ball constantly, just poking you out, and then Wing Gust straight after, just to do more damage. She'll keep sending you back to the base. She's really good at early game. Late game, I wouldn't say she falls off, but she's not as potent as the other mages can be. But I still think she's a very good mage to learn. So yeah. Coming in at number 4 is Myman, Thoth. His passive is a good one. He stacks at level 1, 5, 9, and 13. When he completes these stacks, he gets like extra power, he gets a bunch of stats. And if he gets a kill, it goes up quicker. It's just a really good passive overall. His 1 is a projectile that runs under his base attacks, but you don't get the movement penalty for it. And it does 120 power plus 25 of your magical power added on. So like that is crazy. That is okay because you got 3 hits. So you got times that, the 120 plus 25% times 3. That's pretty good. Then you got evade and punish. He dashes omnidirectional, so he can dash in any direction he wants, and then fires a projectile, and if it hits, it stuns. That is really good because most mages don't actually have that, which is quite unique. Glyph of Pain is an ability where he sets up a window and he can fire his abilities through it. If they go through, they get 30 units further than the original ability distance was. And also basic attacks do more damage as well. So that is crazy. You can burst down towers, phoenixes, titan, objectives real quick with this ability. And then Final Judgment. It's a charge up ability, kind of like Ra's ult, but you can charge it and you can deactivate it if you want to, and he just fires it. This also works with the Glyph of Pain, so you can extend this by another 30 meters. Darth just wants to sit in the back and just shoot damage straight into the fight. He doesn't need to be in the fight to do damage, and that's what makes Darth really good compared to all the other hunters. Coming in at number 5 is Vulcan. Vulcan is an amazing god. I personally like him, and I think, actually not think, I know, the pro player Pretty Prime is a god on Vulcan. Here's why. Every ability hit gives movement speed and MP5 for 5 seconds. If you can constantly keep that up, you could stay in the lane for a long time. And with your 1 backfire, it's a projectile dash. You fire a line damage that hits them, which then activates the passive, and then you move back to give yourself good distance, so you can get free damage off, which is amazing. And then Inferno Cannon, which is the second ability, it's classed as a pet, which basically you place the turret down and then it has a good range and it will just shoot whatever's within the range. If you hit an enemy god with backfire, the cannon will switch targets and it will do, but the Inferno Cannon takes 50% additional damage from non-god sources, so minions can actually kill the cannon quicker than a god can, which that is a good note to have. Magna Bomb is just a circle that you throw, and if they get hit, they get knocked back. It has good power and good cooldown, but the cooldown for backfire is a lot better, so I prefer to get max backfire. Some people like max Magma Bomb, but I'm not sure why. Earthshaker is an ability where the further you launch it, the more power it does. So you want to be further out the fight, so you can shoot it into the fight, and then you can stroll up on the fight because you now have the movement speed because you've hit an ability. They've already lost most of their health because the scaling on this ability is 880 add 130% of your magical power. That is crazy good. And Vulcan is just safe in general, but can be picked off like all the rest of these gods. That's why, out of all of the gods, these gods I think are the best. Agony, Isis, Thoth, Vulcan, and Ra. They all can be picked off easy one another if they all have an ability down or catch them at the wrong time, but they can all be so good at the same time. I hope this guy helped you. Check out Fever for more information. Sign up if you haven't. I'm Fever Loyalbdog, and thank you.